What do you get when all your favorite horror icons get together to make a movie for fun? You get this movie.
Two masters of horror. John Carpenter, director of Halloween, The Fog, Christine, and Memoirs of an Invisible Man. And Tobe Hooper, director of Poltergeist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Together, they bring you a frightening new tale of horror.
Here we are. Body bag. Where in the hell did this hat come from?
Nightmares of monstrous evil.
He cut him up. You see? I had his eye, you know.
John Carpenter takes you on a terrifying journey.
I have to finish digging your grave.
Into the darkness of the human soul.
What's happening to me? 99.
Robert Carradine, Mark Hamill, Deborah Harry, Stacy Keach, David Naughton, David Warner, Twiggy, Sheena Easton, featuring cameos by top horror film directors. Wes Craven of Nightmare on Elm Street, Sam Raimi of Evil Dead, Roger Corman of The Little Shop of Horrors, John Carpenter, and Tobe Hooper. Body bags.
What's up, Universe, and welcome back to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to Comic Universe, guys. I'm your host, as always, C-Dubs, and I'm riding solo on this video. And guys, the 31-day Halloween horror movie challenge continues. It's the last day of the month, so I'm going to try to bang as many of these out as I can. Oh, it's been really hectic this month. Alright, guys, so today, for the 31-day Halloween horror movie challenge, we got a good one. It is the 1993 Body Bags by John Carpenter and Tobe Hooper. That's right. This is an anthology film that was actually set up by Showtime. It was a pilot for Showtime, actually, to basically become a TV show, similar in the same vein as your Twilight Zones and Creep Show, or not Creep Show, Tales from the Crypt, if you will. And it was starring, actually, in the lead role as the coroner, John Carpenter, which is very rare and unique because you don't really get to see Carpenter act all that much. Generally, he's more so behind the camera, behind the keyboard, and behind the pen, if you will. So it was a real good delight to see that, and his portrayal in this is absolutely wonderful, if you ask me. The writers of this movie actually are pretty top-notch as well. Billy Brown and Dan Angel, they kind of wrote many of the Goosebumps TV shows, if you will. So yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely awesome that you have this cast of such talented people coming together to make these films. Now, this is an anthology film, and again, Tobe Hooper directs one of them, which is the last story of the movie, and John Carpenter basically directs the first two. Now, this is also filled with a star-studded cast, to be honest with you. I've already mentioned, obviously, John Carpenter and Tobe Hooper. Okay, in addition to that, you have Mark Hamill, Wes Craven, in acting roles, guys. Mind whether they're this big or this big, these are all acting roles, keep in mind. Wes Craven, Tom Arnold, Alex Densher, you have David Warner, Robert Carradine from The Nerds, come on. David Naughton from American Werewolf in London. Like, it is just total Sam Raimi, if I didn't already say that. Yeah, I mean, this is just a star-studded cast, to be honest with you. If you're a horror fan, to have all these cameos and all these actors in this movie at once just blew my mind as a kid. And even more so now, I just really geek out every time I see this movie. And again, it was pitched as a TV show to Showtime, but it wasn't picked up, so it was just kind of packaged into a movie and released. And so again, we start with John Carpenter, and he is very similar to the Crypt Keeper, if you will. His sense of humor, sexual humor, and things to that nature. I have a feeling this was really going to be more mature than the actual Tales from the Crypt, if you will, even though they both dealt with murder and stuff like that. But there was some severe nudity in the beginning half of this film. Like, there's a point where Carpenter's pulling out a dead corpse out of the freezers, if you will, but her boobs are too big to fit out of the door. So he's yanking, and it pulls, and they shake. So it's really sexual, funny, humor, dark humor, if you will, as well. They show him drinking, arsenic and formaldehyde and all kinds of weird and goofy things. He's tasting some of the people, and as the story goes on, he's kind of checking the toe tags, if you will. It's like, oh, natural cause of death, natural cause of death. He goes, oh, there's the body bags, and he tells us whenever there's a death, murder, mayhem, a severe crazy accident, they're placed in the body bag. So he unzips the body bag and proceeds to tell us the story of what was inside that body bag. And that's how we move on into the anthology, if you will. Now, the first movie is actually, I don't know, it might be my favorite. It might be the best, in my opinion. But they're all really good, to be honest with you. Even though there's a lot of tropes that you've seen in other places, I think it's really done really well here. And it's called The Gas Station, and it's basically a young lady's first night. She's a college student, and she's working the overnight shift, and she just plans to study, working through the overnight. And while she's going to her first day at work, and this is absolutely freaking awesome, guys. She hears on the radio that there's an escaped mental patient. Okay, and I know you guys at home are like, yeah, very stereotypical, right? But they actually tell us escaped mental patient from Haddonfield. That's right. So this is actually in the same universe, if you will, as Halloween. Okay, and you start thinking escaped mental patients. Is it going to be Michael Myers? No, unfortunately, but I always assumed it was just one of the other people that actually escaped that night, if you will. And what's really cool is that since it's directed by John Carpenter, you get a lot of those Halloween vibes. The shots that you see, the angles of the camera, the way the main, or the villain, if you will, sits up after being injured. All Michael Myers inspired and Halloween inspired. And it was absolutely awesome. And again, this is where you get David Naughton in here from American Werewolf in London. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome. And it's a pretty good overall story. And moving on to the second story, again, also directed by John Carpenter. It's called Hair. Now, this one I kind of, as a kid, didn't take so much to heart, but now I definitely could understand. So this gentleman, he's losing his hair, and he's very vain, and he always felt that his hair defined him. And I'll be honest, my hair did define me as a kid. Growing up through middle school, high school, and even up until probably my mid-20s, I had really thick, natural curly hair. And, girls loved it, to be honest with you. So it really did define me in many ways. And then 26 hit, and it started falling out. And I just said, well, fuck it. No longer am I going to let this thing define me. So I totally understand where this guy was coming from. So he's really vain, and he's really self-conscious about his hair, and he tries everything. He goes to his girlfriend's stylist. He buys every product on the market. He has massagers. He tries spray painting it, and his girlfriend starts laughing at him, and he just feels worse and worse about himself. And then he finally sees on the TV something in the same vein as, Hair Club for Men. So he goes in, checks up on him, they give him the up and up, they show him what he's going to get, and he gets the stallion look, which is the really long locks, if you will. And it turns out that they do give him, real living hair, and there's a key word in there, and I'm going to let you guys figure it out or go see the movie if you haven't. And it's just, this one is more on the comedy side of things, but it still was really good. And as a kid, it actually was my favorite because it had creatures in it, if you will. So I did enjoy that one the most as a kid. But now I think, again, like I said, The Gas Station, just because of how similar to Halloween it was, I get that vibe and I really like it. And I like the main actress in the Gas Station one as well. And that's Stacey Leach. So she's actually been in many horror movies growing up as a kid, as I saw. And it's funny enough, she's actually in another horror movie anthology, Tales from the Dark Side, which I love as well. And I think I may review that as well. So yeah, I mean, and then the last one is a story we've definitely gotten many times over. Even The Simpsons has kind of parodied it, where you miss a body part, an eye, a heart, your hair, whatever, and you get a replacement from somebody else, a donor, and that donor happened to be a psycho killer, and you start either seeing ghosts or visions of his murders and things like that. We've seen that kind of thing played out before, but I think this is one of the first incarnations of that. And this one being a Tobie Hooper, it was a little darker, a little more gritty. This one was starring Mark Hamill. He's a baseball player. So he really needs his eyes to hit the baseball, obviously, and he's actually on this hot streak right now, and the pros are getting ready to call him and bring him up. And, you know, he gets into this severe car accident, loses his eye. Doctor comes in and says, hey, we have this procedure for you. It's never been done before. You'll be the first person to try. If it doesn't work, it dies. We pull it out. You just don't have an eye. He goes, well, what do I have to lose? Let's get it done. So they give him the new eye, and it's Mark Hamill again, who, you know, he's a great actor. He puts on this really dark, devious, and you can sometimes see little shades of Joker in there. And he's just slowly but surely seeing visions of women dying. And he turns out that the eye was a part of a serial killer at some point in time. And now he's trying to kill his wife. And there's a lot of religious undertones to it. You get this this love scene that turns into a rape scene really quick. And for those of you who want to see Mark Hamill's ass, you definitely get to see that here. But overall, man, all three of these films are really awesome. Again, just to have Wes Craven, Tobe Hooper, Sam Raimi, you know, and John Carpenter all in the same film. Like, I just wish that we would gotten more stories directed by all of these people. And something tells me that if it would have been picked up, we would have gotten those things. All right, Universe. So now this is the time where if you haven't already given us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, go ahead and do so. So it lets us know what we're doing. Also, guys, if you have suggestions on how to make our content better or things to do about our, you know, suggestions on what we should cover, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on this video, guys. And punch that bell right in the face so you know that you're a part of the notification squad, so you know whenever we drop a video. DPZ should have a video coming out real soon. It's another Rogues revamp for My Hero Academia, so check that out, guys. And guys, until next time, I'm C-Dubs, and I'll see you in the universe. Peace.